That's why from now you will be required to present a valid national ID card anytime you visit a Momo agent point to perform a transaction. Now note that this is to help you keep receiving cash and just handling your transactions in a safe and secure way. That's why we're good together. Just Momo it everywhere you go. Well, this weekend there's free bonus on betika.com. Yeah, sign up and get 5 CDs bonus this weekend. You can claim it now on www.betika.com.gh. Betika means more seeker. In the home of champions, there's Fala, Daily Jackpot, and a lot of casino games. Betika is registered by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and not for persons below the age of 18. So we mentioned earlier, we'll do a quick industry checkup and see what's happening around. We're going to start out from the Gamro office. Yeah. And see how things are going there. Madame Gloria Jifa is on the phone lines. Let me check up with her. Hello, Madame Gloria. How are you?
I am good, and you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for joining us on Showbiz A to Z here on Joy FM. We just wanted to follow up and find out how things are going with your election. You're the election committee secretary. The elections. How are things going now?
Thank you, and welcome to all your listeners. Election committee of Gamro have met with the management of Gamro last week, Tuesday, and after that, we also met with the electoral commission, and a date has been set for the Gamro board election.
Okay. When is that?
And the elections will be coming up on the 5th of May, 2021. 5/5/2021.
On the 5th of May.
Yes.
Okay. So we heard some members were threatening to seek court injunction and all of that. How true is that?
Well, it is being rumored. We, as a committee, have not received any official letter from any of them or from their legal people. We've not received any letter from any court. So we are on course. Our elections will be held on the 5th of May, and then we will get a new board to steer the affairs of government.
Okay. Are you able to tell us who the candidates are, a bit about the candidates and the people taking part in the elections?
All the candidates are Rex Toma, of course. Rex is a right owner and a composer, and the immediate past board chairman, and every Ghanaian knows Rex Toma and his music lyrics, like Adi Baye and the rest. We have Akosie Ernest. Akosie Ernest, that is how he's popularly known. He's a producer. We have Kwame Dinkra, a media personnel and also a musician. He's in Kumasi with the Angel Group of Companies, the media company.
Yeah.
We have Abena Ruti, a former banker, a communication specialist. And then we have Tego Sisters, the junior one. We have Yawajimambedi, who's also a well-known popular gospel musician. He's based in Kumasi. We have KK Kabobo, the name sounds. And also we have John Mensa Sapon, who is also a producer, a renowned producer in this country. He has produced a lot of musicians. And then the last but not the least, we have Ohunibakiti.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. So
they are 10 in number.
10 candidates.
Yes. And then also Humble Prophet. There is one we call George Upuriata. He's popularly known as Humble Prophet. He's also a performer. So 10 of them.
Okay. All right. So 5th of May, the elections will come on.
Yes.
That's all other things being equal. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much
Trusting
for
God for fair weather.
Mm-hmm.
And also waiting for the Electoral Commission, Ghana, UC, to give us our budget for the elections. And so there are some few line down activities before then. We'll be hosting the candidates. They will be balloting for positions. They will take official photos for the ballot papers. All will happen within this April. That will be next week. And after that, the elections we have.
Okay. Uncle Ken wants to ask a question as well, so please, if you can hold on. Yeah, Uncle Ken, go ahead.
Jiva,
Yes, sir.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hope everything is fine.
We are fine by Christ.
Yes, Jiva, this election in quotes that you're talking about, are there candidates who oppose composers, publishers, and all the different segments that you allow in your election? Because your election, the people on that board are supposed to come from different organizations. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yes, they're supposed to come from different organizations. How many of those organizations
are represented?
Do you have representing?
Yeah, we have the composers, performers, producers.
Composers, performers,
and the producers.
And the producers.
Yes.
And how many positions are there to be filled?
7.
7. And who are the others?
The 7 positions are going to be filled by this categories of people who are right.
Oh, okay. So you mean there can be 2 producers on the board?
Yes, it has been apportioned by our constitution as to how many members to contest for this and how many members to contest for this. So that is how the constitution has divided it. That this number of producers, this number of
composers,
and this number of
publishers.
Publishers.
So how many members?
And then performers.
But there are 7 people contesting so far, are there not?
Yes, 7 people.
So that means that the positions have been filled already.
Yes, but they are more than
so
7.
There's no contest.
No, these people are more than 7. So we need to
vote on
ballot to get the 7 out of it. So some will be going unopposed.
How many are going unopposed?
We need 3 composers, and the composers now are 4.
Okay.
And we need 1 publisher who is there, so unopposed. 2 performers.
So it is only the composers that will actually
be performers
that will actually be contesting for the positions.
And then 1 producer of sound recording. Yes.
Okay.
How many performers are on there?
Performers, we need only 2, but we have 3 of them now.
Okay.
They would have been 4, but the Nana, I don't know his title name, but we know him in the music industry as Amachi Bebe has pulled out of the race. And so we have 3 now to contest for 2 positions.
Okay. All right, Auntie Jiva, thank you so much. And
so we need 3 composers, 1 publisher, 2 performers, and 1 producer.
Right.
Out of the 10.
Right. Okay. Well, we would be checking in again to see how progress is going, okay?
And also, the media should start championing our cause.
We should start doing what?
Championing our good cause.
Okay.
Promote us, not only when there seems to be problem, then the media will now start coming, at least. You guys will say some good things about us now. We are entertainers. I mean, give us big head, small, not always knocking at our head.
Jifa, if you do the right thing, we would always compliment you.
Okay, I hear you, sir.
Thank you so much, Jifa, and do have a good day, yeah? We're going to go to Musica, but that's a bit later because we need to get in touch with Daddy Bosco to find out what's happening at Musica. But let's get into the thick of things as well because... And I need to say as well, we just received President of Giba in the studio, Mr. Andrew Danso Ninkra. Mr. Danso, Akwaba. Apumboko there. Nice, thank you. Your black there, Uncle Ken was hoping that everybody on that side would be wearing white. But the black, are we mourning?
You mean on a Saturday? I guess it's
Did
normal.
you get his answer? Do you understand the answer he gave you?
If I asked white as well, that answer would suffice. So yeah.
Saturdays is either white.
Yeah, it's either white or black. Anyway, let's talk about the Kaswa boy murder. Teenagers allegedly killed a 10-year-old boy for money rituals. And my colleague Masola Gbagba visited the place earlier in the week and had this report.
Uncompleted building here is the crime scene where the incident itself happened. So here you see the shallow grave here, which was allegedly dug by the two suspects, and then the concrete blocks, we're told, they used in hitting the head of the deceased. I've been interacting with uncle of the deceased.
My sister is staying with them here closely to them. He has been doing better things to them. So I don't see the reason why this dirty thing should be done against my sister. He's very, very intelligent. Even when he was called, he was in the room going through his laptop.
Aggrieved family members and friends of the deceased are gathered here, waiting for the body to arrive for burial. Some of them we've been speaking to here describe 10-year-old Ishmael as a very intelligent child. I've been speaking to another uncle of Ishmael. His name is Alhassan Akeli.
Very, very intelligent. One thing about him I always remember is the big smile in his face. When you see him, as soon as you mention his name, just give you a smile.
He's my grandmother's son. Very intelligent. He don't want any problem. Those who killed him, he was very free with them. You people even eat at his house. Whatever you want, he give it to you. He have laptops and other things. You go there to play it with him. They shouldn't bring them out and say, oh, they've gone for 2 years or something. No, it's either they should be sentenced to death as well, or they should be in life imprisonment. We don't want them outside there, because if we see them, it won't be better for them.
We all followed how it unfolded earlier in the week. Really sad story there, and I'm sure my panelists have a lot to say about it. Uncle Ken, Jesse, Sadiq is also here. Maybe I'll start off with you, Jesse. You followed this story earlier in the week, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Your thoughts?
So are you asking me to speak to the story, or you're asking me to speak
just
to
your initial thoughts about the story, of course.
Authority,
No, we'll get to that part.
Okay, but
we'll
just
get
the
to that
story.
part. Just the story, yeah. We'll
Okay.
get to the part about content and all of that, because there have been conversations around it. So we'll get to that.
So I remember as a child the very famous story of Kofi Chinto, and I don't know if you remember it. And it was a scary development that happened during that time. And even though we didn't have social media, information still trended much more faster. And things like this create what you might call a fear factor within the community that it happens within. And I think it's a very regrettable situation that it happened. That's number one. Losing your child is as regrettable and painful as it would be. The second part is those who perpetrated the action themselves being in a category you might call minors, and therefore the conversation has been what would have triggered them to have done that. Again, the answer has come from them as to what may likely have influenced them to have done that. There are those who would broaden the conversation, and I'm hoping today's conversation will try and touch on that. We are questioning our very social structure and how we are piping ourselves into building a very relevant society that makes it safe for children and for everybody else. So my initial thoughts would be it's very regrettable. It's a very sad one. That should not happen to anybody, and especially it happening, it's a child-to-child issue, and therefore beyond the murder itself, it's also the psychology within the area and the mindset of the people who perpetrated it. I'm happy for the first time we're not politicizing in this particular issue. And I'm hoping that as we progress, we'll try and deal with the real issues in relation to this.
Uncle Ken?
Yeah. Sad news, very disturbing. But then again, we ask ourselves, did we not know this existed? The potential for people to see things and get interested in what is going on. You know, I've been asking myself, Kwame, I hope anybody here can answer me on this. Is it true that people engage in what you call sakawa and make money and come out to bluff with what they have made out of the Sakawa business. Is it true?
So may I?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
I want an answer.
It's true. It's true. Yes, it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
You think it's true? You believe it's true?
I mean, there are
Because
people.
I have heard people talk about
Yes.
current Sakawa boys driving Mercedes as the new,
Yeah, it's true.
class attribute
Yes.
to being that way. Prior to that, it was some make of Toyota. What was it?
The Corolla.
No, not Corolla.
The Venza.
No. Oh, what was
Camry.
Camry?
Oh, the
Prior to that, many
Camry
years ago.
came and the Venza came.
Yes, many years
It
ago.
started with the Corolla Kwame.
Yeah.
Then they graduated to the Corolla S. The
Yeah,
2010
the Corolla
model.
S.
Then they
And
went
then
to Camry,
the
and
Camry.
then the new version of the Camry, the
Yeah.
hybrid.
Yeah.
And then now it's Benz.
So this is my worry.
Yes.
If it is true that people can evidently show
Yes.
that you can benefit from such acts, then I get scared.
Okay,
I get scared
I think the
because-
word is. I know we'll probably get it, but I think the word is really tolerance, right? I feel that as a society, we progressively get tolerant of behaviors that people should instinctively hide. So, and I give you a classical example. Those days we would say Oba no tutu. Na obo tutu this year. Nti anajo, you hide and then you do
and
it.
then you go out.
Nti,
Okay.
so if you're described as an Ujamainfo, you try to hide it because society frowned on it.
Thank you.
But we've gotten more tolerant to the extent, and even nudity.
Okay.
So nudity was something that you would try to hide.
Thank you.
But you see, we've gotten tolerant to the extent that we now condone it, and we evidently want to see more of it.
And we flaunt it.
Exactly. Now, so those days, if somebody even did money rituals, he would do it and try and build stores, right? Own so many businesses,
Yeah.
and then he would use a business as a cover.
As a front, yeah.
But you see, progressively, which is why I said that for me, if you deal with this as a social issue, and you follow our mindset of tolerating in quote stupidity, as an example, you would understand why we're here to the extent that now the girl finishes Legon today, and she owns a 6-bedroom house, and she says, I do ABCD. A boy finishes Legon today, cuts C 1, 2, 3, travels and comes back in 3 weeks, and is richer than anybody else. And so flaunting things are much more easier, which is why I said that. Get to the social baseline of it, and you would see that we are getting more tolerant every day.
Yeah, but Jesse, this is why I say I'm worried.
You see,
Yeah, you should
at,
be.
at the
I'm
heart,
worried.
Yes.
Jesse, at the heart of what you said,
Yes.
The
It's a
tolerance
validation.
bit or tolerance
It's a
bit, yeah.
validation of it by the media.
We're validating
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
that is also there, and also the lack of structures to check the source of people's wealth.
Yes, good. So you see,
You understand?
I get it.
So we also would see people, flaunt these things and won't ask any
Can I ask you a
questions,
question?
legalities
Please
and all.
don't leave me out
Oh,
of
I'm
my
sorry.
thing.
Oh,
Me,
okay,
I
sorry,
only
sorry.
pose the questions.
I thought this was just a prelims.
You do
So
this
we're
to me
bringing
all
the
the
various
time.
issues out of it, okay?
You
yeah.
do these things
No,
to me.
okay. He said initial thoughts.
Yeah.
But you jumped into the sea, so you always play uncle. You always play
Yes.
uncle, eh?
Because I am saying that I am worried.
Yes.
Because if it is evidentially clear that you can gain something from these things that are shown on our television sets, hey, and there's something you home.
Yeah.
So is it true that people can have monies doubled?
Yes.
Yes, I mean,
Perceptually
as
true.
far as what has been shown us is anything to go by.
Yeah,
That's true.
Sadiq, I have been worried.
Jesse, you
Because
sound like
I have said
you have an experience you wanted to
No,
share.
it's not like I have an experience, right?
Yeah.
I know Uncle Ken will beat me for trying to eat into his time.
No, I won't. I always give you
The
that.
thing is that, I would keep on saying this, we are validating behavior
Thank you.
consistently. And you see, the reason why I said that the question you are asking is a right question. However, you can't ask me that. It's because of this. I graduate with my friend from political science department. He goes
Right.
into politics.
Yeah.
His salary is 10,000 Ghana cedis a month. And the next time I call him for a party, he's inviting me to Airport Hills. Now, in truth, he's made his money. Can he justify his political wealth? He might not be able to. If you ask him to show from a GRA's perspective up until now, he might not be able to do that. But society has put a stamp and a seal on it. And it's very fair.
Okay.
So in that same vein,
And it's replicated across.
yes, and across board. So I finish school and I get rich quick. And I'm just saying that we need to take a look at this from our social evolution perspective. And we seem to be validating many things now.
Okay.
And so long as you're validating it, it would be right.
So let me end.
Okay.
At some point.
Let me end my point.
Yes.
So this means that we cannot, if the questions are posed to you guys,
Yes.
and the answers you gave me are to be taken seriously,
Yes.
it means that we cannot complain about these people doing these things on television
He's gotten
as
there.
being fraudulent. This is my point. How can we then accuse them of being fraudulent if you are telling me that what they do gives results? Hey, already, that's why I'm scared.
Okay.
So for me,
Sadiq, go ahead.
For me, my initial thoughts will be on the part that I think that, and we're not saying per se say those guys are doing something that's, say, fraudulent. It's the worry here is the fact that, like Jesse will say, there's something that we are tolerating as a society, but the media, which is always a very powerful tool in accepting and tolerating this, seems to have gone to the next step, aside introducing us to seeming to validate it, because the general perception is that once it's from the media, it's because of the trust people have for it. I mean, so the worry here is how things have become so loose to such an extent that this thing that, like Jesse is saying, used to be done, but in closets, for instance, and which was outed by the media. Now they've gotten to a next bold level, which is validating it, and that's a point of worry for a lot of people, you know. But yes, I mean, Jesse is right. Everybody is right that what happened in Kaswa is at the heart of the problems, some of the problems of society. You know, how a lot of things have broken down and how these things, how we've become so tolerant of all these things. To some extent, somebody will say, this one be borrowed culture. Some of it is here, but just that it's become so outed, so open. And I mean, nobody is, you know. And so all of it answers Ken's question as well, which is that, yes, it is true that people are doing a lot of things that ordinarily were not being done in the open. And it's become accepted, it's been endorsed, it's been validated. And Charlie, there doesn't seem to be no turning back.
Okay. Let me get the thoughts of Mr. Andrew Danso Aninkra.
He's the one I want to hear.
I'll go again, take your time, because like I said, we've not gone into the thick of things yet.
I want to hear him.
But what are your thoughts, Mr. Aninkra?
You know, so fine. I would submit this as a personal.
Yes.
Position.
That's actually what we want now.
Yes. So that, for instance, if we begin to ask a question whether Sakawa really is true, from a point it is not. If I take paper around here within this organization and you are under litmus test for you to say you have experienced it before,
I'll say no.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's not about the truth, but that we are checking. Have you been there before? Have you experienced it before? I'm sure even within this premise, we get about 100% people saying, well, I heard it. They say. True. This is the fact. The question we need to ask ourselves is, who are the people who benefit from this activity? I believe strongly it is the people who claim they have some powers to help you, who end up getting helped. They are the people who benefit, and that is why they will continue. The other side of it again is that, why has media accepted this? We need not see media as an animate object. It may be as abstract as the name proposes. Media is just a medium. Media, when you see media basically as a means, as a vehicle of getting information, getting entertainment, getting transformation, it is the content that goes out through a medium. It is a concept, it is an idea, It is a collection of activity that needs a certain medium to reach a certain target. This is what media has been. And so you get a collection, a group of people who probably have been oriented a certain way. So they will be ready consuming something from that medium. And there are people who are ready to put something on that medium for the consumption. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Following.
We hear you.
So within our society, when we have made it look like everything can be spiritualized. So for instance, an old man died. I won't mention the name, but an old man died yesterday, not in our jurisdiction. 99 years. But there's some black connection in there. So I made a joke. Are we checking if somebody used juju to kill him? Because of the black connection. This is our thought. That anybody who dies somewhere around here has been killed. This is how we think. And that thing is there waiting to be fed. That mindset that your cup fell, your glass fell, somebody stepped on your shoe because there is a spiritual force behind.
Is it wrong that we are superstitious? It's not wrong.
I'm not here to judge our superstition, but that is our society.
Yeah,
that is our society.
So that I think
So
it feeds back to my point that
yes,
we are within a sociocultural web.
exactly.
That sociocultural web is fed by our nature and our nurture. And we've been raised and we've interacted. Socialization shapes it.
Exactly.
Inherent in that is religious beliefs. And so long as religious beliefs are in there, which is a belief in the supernatural, you cannot discuss our cultural settings without
talking about
the metaphysical. You can't do that.
Yes, but you see again,
It's part of us.
my point is this: as society evolves, as society grows, there is a need for us to probably, at a certain point, begin to question where we have come from, where we are headed, what instruments we are using to get to where we are, or where we want to get to. Unfortunately, probably that is what we talk about, the tolerance.
Yes.
We have not questioned this. We have not subjected this to some discussion over a certain period of time, and we have allowed things to fester and to go the way they have gone. And this is becoming the outcome. This is becoming the result. I believe this is what has happened.
Okay. Now, I need to say that we also invited Sukrit Safo, chairman of the Film Classification Committee of the NFA. He's supposed to join us. We're still hoping he'll be here in good time because a chunk of the conversation also has to do with the Film Classification Committee and a statement that was released a little earlier, which we would want to delve into here on Showbiz A to Z. You can join the conversation on our WhatsApp 055-1111-997. On social media, the hashtag is Showbiz A to Z. And I'm sure my folks here have seen the public announcement from the National Film Authority, the Film Classification Committee. And this has become important because earlier, there were calls for the ban on malams and money ritualists from advertising their products and services on radio and television stations. That's following the Kaswa murder. The assumption is that these kids were introduced to these malams through TV, and they thought they would follow through with providing a dead body and 5,000 CDs so that they would get enough money to be rich boys. And that's what caused all of this. So the debate has been going on and it's been raging like wildfire. Then the NFA released and stated in development that all audiovisual content shall be previewed and classified before exhibition. Now, it says after several consultations with various stakeholders of the audiovisual industry in Ghana, the general public is hereby expected to know the following. From 1st of May 2021, no television station, cinema theater, or movie screening center shall show any classified audiovisual content. Now, such audiovisual content include feature films, short films, TV series, selected TV programs, documentaries, advertisements, music videos meant for public exhibition and broadcasting. Now, a right owner, licensee or assignee who desires to exhibit any audiovisual content shall submit the content to the Film Classification Committee for examination and classification at least 21 days before the intended exhibition. Now, anyone who fails to comply with the set rules shall be subject to the offences and penalties in Section 27 of the Development and Classification of Film Act 935. This was signed by Secretary Stafford, the chairman of the Film Classification Committee and the National Film Authority. GIBA got a copy. The Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Musicians Union of Ghana got a copy as well. The Film Producers Association of Ghana, FIPAG, Advertisers Association of Ghana also got a copy. Films and advertising production companies, television stations and broadcasters, film exhibitors, and then the media. I'm going to start off with you, Mr. Danso Aninkra. So, from the, Kaswa case study, do you agree that it sort of played a role and something needs to be done to kill it?
So do you agree? It means I have to assume that what we've heard is correct.
Yes.
But the point is, so that is what the boys said. And it is under investigation. Probably we have to allow investigations to go on. That some person professing to be a fetish priest has been picked really does not mean that we can conclude they watched television, they saw the fetish priestess or priest, and they contacted her, etc., etc. Let's leave that to the police.
Are you? Can I just ask this? Are you therefore saying that these things do not happen on our screens?
I am saying that it is common for everybody to be caught in some act and to excuse himself or herself, i.e. to blame it on something, or to say somebody said it, somebody made me do it.
No, apart from the fact that the guys did say,
I'm a Christian,
in testimony,
and I'm a good Christian, and I have read from history, right in the garden when the population was 2. Somebody blamed somebody. It's not good to say this.
What I'm kind of saying is that aside from using this concept to make an excuse, he's asking that as somebody that also operates in the media, he's saying that what is being alluded to doesn't happen or isn't happening in the media.
No, but before, Mr. Aninkra, what we're also saying is that you mentioned leaving the police to do their job or the investigation to go on, but the preliminary investigation says that these boys admitted that they probably saw.
No, wait. Did they admit or they said they saw?
No, from the reports.
They saw the number on TV.
Yes. Making a statement.
Yes.
That we saw.
Yes.
And I said, leave it to the police
to confirm or validate that.
The point is,
but if the boys have admitted seeing something.
No, you see, there's a difference between admission and making a statement. Number one, if you tell me I saw you on telly, the first question normally I would ask you is which channel? Which television did you see me?
Yeah.
That question, has it been answered?
Well, not yet.
So I think that
I'm sorry.
To prove that they really watched the television. That is number one.
No, but I don't see the angle of the direction of this.
So let me say this.
Is it been done to wish away the fact that it happens as this is prevalent?
That's what I'm saying. See, you watch television, right? A lot of us watch television. There are a lot of children in the area who watch television.
Yes.
And they've been watching television for some time, etc., etc. And television has been there, and there are things happening on television.
Yes.
We cannot say that everything that we do is because we watch television. We cannot say that.
No, but we also can't deny.
Wait, I'm not jumping.
No.
I'm not jumping to a conclusion. I'm saying that let us leave that aspect of it, because, for instance, if you ask me to agree, that is where my point is. If you ask me to agree, I'll prefer...
agree to what?
Agree to the fact that when the children said they watch television, there is some truth in it.
No, all I'm asking is, do these things...
Which they pointed to happens or not?
So, for instance,
that there are malams or these people influencing people's thoughts?
Exactly. Is that what television
my
does?
question
is it on our television?
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. Because there are people selling medicine on our television.
Correct.
There are people who are influencing the youth to be more useful on our television.
Correct.
There are people who are singing to us, entertaining us on our television.
Correct.
Yes. So all these things are there.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, so that if something happens and you said, yes, because I saw it on television. That's your statement. No.
Yes,
And I
yeah,
cannot
but,
deny
but if we are discussing the influencing effects of the content that is shown in media,
Thank you.
and we're having to examine this,
Yeah.
we can never ever overlook it. We cannot dismiss it.
And this is the
Not say
case
that
study
it's
we
an
have,
excuse
Mr.
by
Nikra.
somebody. We can always examine it and look at it. It is for a reason. It is for this that there has been, for instance, laws or a certain level of regulation to be able to prevent it, because there's a recognition of the influencing effect of this content. So we can't just wish it away.
And Mr. Hinkra,
I
I
am
agree
not-
with you.
I
I
am
agree
not
with
that-
you.
I'm not
Let me just
also
make this
arguing
point,
on that.
please.
Okay.
Please. I agree with you 100% when you say that let's leave what the boy said to the police to
How can we do
investigate.
that?
Hold on. Let me explain.
Just say hold on.
Because the boys might have said that, but it might not have been true.
Anybody can tell them to do
Exactly.
that.
But we have
It
to,
might-
Uncle
so-
Ken, we have
My
to
question,
proceed.
therefore, was not about what the boys said, but about whether these happenings are seen on our television screen.
Okay,
That
Uncle
was
Ken,
my
Uncle
question.
Ken, in setting a condition for the conversation, some conditions are necessary. Some conditions are full and whole. The boys who committed the atrocity have said to you that behavior
That's what influenced
was
them.
influenced by
Correct.
something I watched on TV.
Yeah.
And the boys said to you that they reached out to the person, and the person
person
said,
gave
bring
them
X, Y, Z.
instructions. Yeah.
With all due respect, that process is not a 1 hour process.
No, it's not.
It means that they may have followed the process for a while. Whilst I agree that it may not be the whole reason why,
Yes.
I can make other attributions, which includes they are poor at home. They haven't eaten the whole day.
Yes.
They didn't go to school.
Yes.
And they didn't have a father figure. I get all of that.
Yes.
But that's not why I'm here. We are here to have a conversation that's trying to establish a direct or an indirect correlation between what we see and how we act. And the boys who conducted the activity said that this is what led us into doing that. So the question to you is this: that do you agree that assertion could be right?
Yes.
And you're not
Yes.
saying that all other factors may not come to
Exactly.
play.
Exactly.
But you're
I agree with
asking
you.
that,
I'm asking.
in his view, does he think that a correlation could be established?
Yeah.
What is a 2% correlation or a 100% correlation?
There is a
But you
correlation.
cannot throw it out of the equation.
I think at this point we should get Mr.
So
Mr. Danso Nikra. You should
When you say-
make your point fully so that we can get it. Yeah.
That becomes the condition. Do you agree that is what happened? I cannot
That,
say.
well,
Yes.
Yeah,
you
they
can
said
say-
that. That's how. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
We
not
can
my
only
question.
take
No,
this
but
step
we're
that
not
was
asking you
reported.
whether you agree
That
that is
was
what
not my
happened.
question.
You know, they have given us a preamble. Okay, and this is based on what the police they heard from the boys. Okay, and that's how come we are analyzing the whole thing. So, what are your thoughts about it?
So that's what I've been saying, that more of it to an extent. We are aware of what goes on our television sets, okay? And we believe that that is the reason why, for instance, we need to step up our standards and make sure that what we expose our children to, number one, is safe. Again, we need to be a little bit more responsible than we are now in terms of the content we churn out on our televisions. Not just the television, radio, not just radio, even as adults, the kind of things we say. Because the point is, you cannot tell who. You see, it's interesting. It sounds very simplistic for you to say, we watched it on telly. Who is the owner of that television? How often, how long do they stay behind the television? How exposed were they to the programming? How often have they watched it? Over what period? It's all important. These are questions that we need to ask ourselves, you know, and then
Agreed.
we talk about the fatherly aspect of it, or let's say even the parental control. When you saw them watching, you know, what did you say? What do you think they were interested in? Children at that age, you understand, and getting so glued to fetish talk. Then again, on the other side, when they were talking to the fetish priest, how did they introduce themselves? What did you ask them? What did you, etc.? What kind of conversation have gone on? You see, so some of these things, well, fine. it's unfortunate that we are discussing this, but I believe strongly this gives us the opportunity to delve deeper into what we do, how we put things on our television, and then to try to tighten the loose ends, and get something going.
From your perspective as the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, do you think something can be done? I mean, you've mentioned the myriad of issues that we probably need to investigate or need to look at. But from the parts that you have control over, or probably your organization has control over, do you think something could be done, or something has to be done?
Yes, should be done. So, for instance, Giba, probably before this happened, Giba has been involved in a lot of activities, making sure that media space is sanitized for both radio and for television. Some activities that we have done in the past is the kind of relationship even that had gone on between journalist safety. We're speaking about the sanitizing, even the political talk before the election, things that would lead to violence, and then this has come up. In fact, before this happened, we have been engaging other stakeholders, let's say the National Media Commission, the National Film Authority. We've been talking to them about all these things, trying to get some standards out there which we all can work with. I think probably this is causing us to wake up and to speak louder and probably bring it to the foreburner, and then...
Specifically, what are the things we can do, or your organization can do?
I will not be able to sit here and to say specifically A, B, C, D will cure the problem. But I believe strongly that we have a profession. We are all professionals. We need to strengthen. We need to train. We need to be out there getting people to be more professional. Just to put it blanketly, we sometimes talk about legislation. We talk about laws. Somebody once commented that the number of laws we have in Ghana, if we are going to share it to the population, everybody will go home with 4. We have so many laws.
Yeah.
But I think we have enough laws. For instance, the National Media Commission talking about there not being enough laws. I think they have enough laws that they can use to sanitize the environment. Giba itself has its own code of conduct. We make sure, fortunately for us, we've been very strict with our code of conduct. Anybody who is a member of Giba who is found to fall foul, we call you to order. And so when the list comes out, you realize that we don't have Giba members involved in this. If our attention is drawn to it, and I'm not here to, as it were, tout the activities of Giba.
You should.
But I can.
But
you should, once you are here.
Mr. Danson Inkra, I don't know whether I'm asking for too much if I say, and you see, we've narrowed the scope because we have a case study. We have an issue that just happened, and you follow the conversations in the media about certain things, censorship or regulations, classification, all of those things. So you really don't have an idea of one specific thing that could be done to help the situation if we think that there's a problem with having malams on TV and all these ritualists on TV.
I think I mentioned standardization. Standardization has to do with quality. Standardization is about strengthening the standards we have that we have to put out. Standardization may involve regulation. Standardization may involve professionalism, training. Standardization may involve exposure. At the end of the day, what we want to see are the necessary standards for performance. When you are putting out something, you need to be sure that this is according to the laid down standard. For instance, before you bring any product out, that is an example I can give. The Ghana Standards Board has standards for every product. You make sure that your product meets that particular standard, even before you go out there to get authorization, etc., etc. At least you must meet a basic standard. I'm saying that we need to strengthen the standards. The National Media Commission has standards for broadcasting in the country. We need to strengthen that.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the training is out there and everybody is getting trained. Unfortunately, what is happening in our media space at the moment is the issue. Most of these television channels that we find happen to be channels on satellite. And we think the NCA probably will need to set up a little. Watch that area, probably, because I believe strongly that is becoming a gray area. After you have given somebody the go-ahead to bring a decoder, The decoder has a lot of channels.
Correct.
The guy will have to feel it because you're taking some kind of money from
Off him.
So anybody comes to him, applies to him, he puts the person on there. The owner of the decoder probably may not be aware of the standards. He's just a businessman who is in there, who's written some kind of letter to the NCA. The NCA
And been granted.
and then they
yes.
put it on, and it's going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so these are areas that we need to
Mr.
watch.
I would like to ask you one question. You have a list of members. What has happened this week? Can you confidently say that none of your members air such things on their channels?
So I said it once, I'll repeat it. The last time I checked, none.
None.
You
I'm
see-
happy. That's the answer
Yes,
I wanted.
none.
Yes.
Because the point is, you need a list of those who do it. When we check the list of those who are in this,
They're
we
not
didn't
members
have
of-
a
They
list.
are not your
not
members.
They are not our members.
Okay.
Okay. You know, earlier you talked about how, when we're talking about standardization, of course, if somebody's bringing their product, you need to strengthen the checks and all of that to make sure it's okay and all of that. So earlier, the Film Authority says that audiovisual content, including feature films, short films, TV series, selected TV programs, documentaries, advertisements, music videos, and all meant for public exhibition and broadcasting, need to be classified, and they need to approve it before it goes on air. You think that's a good measure then?
We have a little problem, a little challenge with that. So we've drawn the attention to it that when
You have a problem with that?
Yes, Giba has a big problem with that.
With the classification.
With not the classification, but
Not
with
with the law, with the
method.
operationalization of the law.
The operationalization of the law. In fact, the way the law sits and the way they have interpreted it, in that the Supreme Court,
When you took
I don't feel comfortable when we say we took, but the point is that when the Supreme Court interpreted the LI,
but it was a feud between you
we initiated
and
that move.
NCA.
Yes, it was NMC.
NMC.
Yes, we
NMC.
initiated the move.
Yeah.
And so the Supreme Court gave a particular interpretation and specifically said that the situation where you have to preview, you have to determine something editorial, a content, it has to be predetermined before it goes on air. It's unconstitutional.
Yes.
It didn't say that when you put the standard there and the person has to work towards the standard and you watch what he's doing, it's unconstitutional.
But
I am not a lawyer. Let me not try to be a lawyer, but this is how I understand it.
your LI 2224 is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Between the NMC and Giba.
Yeah.
And it did say what you are saying.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also saying that there is a new law, which is the Development and Classification of Film Act, 935, which gives the authority to the classification committee to actually preview movies only to classify them.
So that
The category of people that need to watch a particular movie at a particular time do so.
you see,
That's what that law says.
you need to
And then,
be- you need to be-
sorry, I mean, the interesting part of it is what, okay, I see
So
where
it's
Giba,
different from what you are saying.
I see the
it's
angle,
not
I
different
see
at all.
where, I see the
Yes,
angle
yeah,
Giba is going to now. However, Anglican, you know that this Act 935 was not passed without the involvement and the active engagement of Giba.
Of course, they were part.
They were part of it.
Yes.
So
No, I know. I'm coming. That's step one. Step two is that even this classification committee, before the formations of it, I'm aware that there was some bit of an engagement with Giba or a rep from Giba.
They have been with Giba in discussions for over a year.
Over a year. But the board of NFA also has a
Includes-
rep. of Giba.
Has a Giba rep.
So the point I'm making is that I see that Giba is also what's it called, apprehensive of it, and are trying to ensure that censorship doesn't happen.
This is
But
no
this
censorship.
process, I'm coming.
Can I challenge
Now, no, this is
something?
classification, but this process to this point was not done without the involvement of Giba.
Yes.
So as an organization with all that,
They've been a part of it.
They've
what
been
point?
a part of it from
Yes.
inception.
From inception. So,
So I find it ridiculous.
May I
when they
challenge?
still
Can I
sitting
ask something?
today.
Because I think you
One
made
second.
a
One second. Okay, may I challenge something you said?
What did I say?
I agree with you. I just wanted to change.
Oh, no. I like it
So
when
you said that the implication I got was that it's not for them to approve the content, but to classify the content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. And I agree with you, except that the last category within the classification,
NS.
yeah, the
Not
not
suitable.
suitable,
Right.
Yeah.
means that they have the power to take a
to
look at
determine-
content and disapprove the content.
Yeah.
So whilst at the face value, it looks as if it's just to peruse content and say for daylight and for evening and for 18 and 13. Inherent in the act, they have the power to say we've banned your movie.
This particular movie has been banned.
In fact,
Let me give you an example.
But they would have to give a reason.
Which is where
Which is
Gilbert
Gilbert's fear.
reason for that.
But
the
Gilbert's
law.
fear.
When
But
is the
guys,
law?
do you-
Look at the definitions?
Yes.
Let me give you the definition of a feature film.
Right.
Or let's say a film.
Yeah.
Let me give you the definition according to the
Yeah.
law.
What does it
A
say?
film includes a recording on any medium from which okay, so it says a film includes a recording on any medium from which a motion picture may be produced
Right.
and audio visual products. And then it says a feature film. A feature film means a film of some length on a specific subject. Right. Now what it means is that anything which is recorded from which you can produce audio visual, which includes your newsreel,
this program that we're
which
on now.
includes this.
Yeah.
No.
Wait.
But the law has indicated specifically which content. It doesn't include news and events.
Yes.
Wait. The
When
law
you read it
does-
from the classification,
But this program is on you.
No, wait.
the criteria of the of classification, it
From
doesn't
where?
include
This
news.
program is on
document.
you.
No, from the same classification committee.
Oh, I'm
No,
not-
the
I'm
circular
talking
they
about
put
the
out.
classification committee.
Okay.
See, this is the law. This is the act by which anybody at all can say you.
Yes, you
have
can't
done
do
this
ABCD.
wrong. Now the classification committee sits and decides we are going to exempt ABCD. What
Okay.
right do they have? The classification committee is not there today. Tomorrow somebody sits. Today the classification somebody says, all of you guys go and rest at home.
I can add ABCD.
We've had discussions. I said, okay, fine. If you say you have a problem, okay, let's exempt. Okay, that. We stop it. Then tomorrow, a new group comes and says, that is the law. You've probably been arrested. I mean,
So
which law?
what is your problem?
Let's not even go in there. The Constitution clearly says that you will not put any impediment. The classification committee uses the word license.
Premises.
No, it says
No.
No.
You
The-
need
the
a license
license
to broadcast content.
Wait.
I wish we had the document. I'll make
Are
it
you
clear.
referring to their LI or you're referring to
don't
the act?
have
An
the
LI.
act.
Because the
Act
LI has not been
Yes,
passed.
they don't have an LI yet.
They don't have an LI.
It has not
is
been
the
passed.
Act 935,
Yes.
which they
And
are
when the
seeking
Act
to
935
implement.
talks about license, what
They-
does it say?
So the Act 935 talks about license, that you need a license to broadcast, to exhibit content. Anybody who exhibits content
Must have the
a
license.
Yeah.
The Constitution says
Exhibition.
Double license.
the exhibition of content is showcasing on television.
broadcast, it's publishing,
It is
it's
for
all of
broadcast
that.
Right.
companies
Yes.
showing anything
Media
on-
houses,
Yes,
media
yes.
cinema
houses,
houses, yes.
showing content on
Yes.
your television
Right.
set.
Right.
You need a license.
And what is the
And it
license?
says that you need to even apply 21 days before.
That's for
That
classification.
is to say, number one, you have a film. The president made a statement, the state of the nation's address on Thursday. You want to show it again on Monday.
You have to-
You
have to apply.
have to send it to them for classification before you show it on your television,
Hold
because
on,
that's an
hold on,
exhibition.
hold on. Like Sadiq was saying, they have an LI that has not been passed. And within that LI, they exclude certain broadcasts.
I haven't seen the exclusion list.
No. So
No.
look,
I'm saying-
in anticipation of it, the
anticipation of it.
committee began to exclude
Yes,
those contents.
Those
Yeah.
content.
In anticipation of the
like
LI.
the newsreel.
So
and all
guys,
those
let me
things.
share with you.
The LI will be passed before the 1st of May.
let me share with you. Maybe
What is supposed to be done on the first?
Uncle Ken, maybe if you let me share this part of the document with you, you get to understand it better. So the Film Classification Committee, formed by the National Film Authority and mandated by the Development and Classification of Film Act 935 to preview and classify audiovisual content intended for public exhibition in Ghana. Now, the following categories of audiovisual content are set within the scope of materials to be classified.
That is the interesting point.
Aha. So there's feature film, there's short film, TV series, and selected TV programs.
Selected TV program.
Like this one.
Like this one.
Like this one.
Selected is ambiguous. Is it ambiguous? I get that point. It's ambiguous.
Yeah,
But this is not law. What you're reading is not
Exactly.
law.
yes, but this is what they want to put in
What
effect
you are
from.
Your basis for going to prison for 5 years is premised on this.
No. No.
Because somebody decided this is included. that
No,
is
Uncle
included.
Ken.
No,
Uncle
but
Ken.
if you go on
They-
that loud, then you're speaking his language. Oh.
Wait. What I'm saying
supposed to speak
is what
Then I
I
get
am
it.
saying is classification per se. You see, I sit here. I'm not a member of the classification committee anymore. I used to be a member of this classification board. That one used to be a board before this new act was passed. Now, that board that I was a member of, which had the classification committee, only classified films, what we call films, at the time. Because the act that we worked with did not include television or new media. Do you understand? That act was in the 60s. And they didn't envision that around this time there will be television and all that. If I give you the journey of that board till today, you'd realize that the board had been through a lot of struggles. And it was that board that initiated this new act to be brought into force. Because Ghana Films at the time, we used to go there to preview the films that they were going to show. Until a member of the board who worked at Ghana Films found out from the law that the law did not include TV. Okay, at the time. So whatever they were going to show on TV had to be stopped from classification. This new act now takes into consideration what happens on TV and new media. And it's a Herculean task, I must say. I believe it is a Herculean task. Because the people who were shooting movies in the past did not have any trouble bringing their films for classification at that time. We never had problems with them, and things went smoothly. You know, now this new act that includes television has issues. And that's where GIBA comes in to protect their members from harassment, if I can use that word, which is what they think,
intrusion.
which is what they think this is, harassment of their members. But I'm saying that GIBA have been accused by so many people of being the stumbling block in us sanitizing the airwaves, if I may speak, I may say so. I do not think that that's what they are doing. All they are trying to do is to make sure that the law is strictly adhered to so that everybody does what they do. My only problem with GIBA, as I sit here, is like what Sadiq said. They've been part of the process from the beginning. And I don't think that if the classification committee, without the consent of GIBA, came out to issue this statement which said that on the 1st of May, from the 1st of May, this is what we'll be doing, then I find it totally gobsmacking. Because I think that they've been in consultation with GIBA
And I've been involved in the NFL.
over a year.
Yeah.
Well, you use some English I didn't understand.
I said, I'll be gobsmacked.
Scandalized.
Scandalized. That's what I'm saying. Because from what they say, that they've been in consultation with you.
So you feel scandalized, right?
I feel scandalized. If GIBA are saying
No,
today,
he says he feels scandalized that
But do
if
you,
he finds out,
yes,
do I?
you feel scandalized too?
yeah, why,
No, not quite.
Well, because I'm going
Not
to make
quite.
a statement and say that
Not
this
why
is what,
did GIBA,
this is what happened to LI 2224. And we kept on raising the red flag until somebody decided once it has to go, you are delaying. You see, sometimes, so you use a certain statement that we are defending our members.
So you seem to.
You see, that is why we formed an association. We were individuals, and we decided to come together so that things that pertains to the industry, and you see, it is for the development of the industry, and it's for the advantage of the end user, the one who benefits from our industry. You understand? That is why we put ourselves together, so that at least we can get standards, so that we can get self-regulated, so that we can even get government to follow a certain order. We can inform, we can look at the areas when you're too busy thinking about the economy. We can concern ourselves with the broadcasting industry and then make suggestions to you. Unfortunately, when you make the suggestions, it is seen as selfish. Defense. And so let us go on because we are sure that this is what we are supposed to do. And then, so like the guy who joins the truck with the faulty brake, he's on the vehicle, but he's saying, I think there is a problem with the brakes. Let us not go downhill. And then everybody see him as you are delaying the travel.
So, Uncle Ken, please, let me, because I think that we're now delving into the functions of GIBA and all of that, but let's scope it down to the main conversation, which is the mandate given by Act 935 to the Film Classification Committee, which initially you mentioned it only had to look at feature films.
That was in the past.
That was in the past. Now it's including short films. We're talking about TV series and selected TV programs.
And new media.
Sadiq says it is ambiguous. Documentaries, advertisements as well, and even music videos. Yes, and that's all in this document that I have here.
Yes.
So the film classification rules shall apply to selected television programs that directly impact on social, cultural, and moral conscience of the people of Ghana. Examples: sex education programs, talk shows, etc. So it's very open-ended. Let's note that it's very open-ended.
Yes.
But let me say this before you come in, Jesse. However, the rules shall not apply to other types of television programming such as newsreel and current affairs programs, sports, events, games, tele-shopping, and in-house productions by the various television stations. Jesse?
Right.
Did you say games?
Yes. Events, games.
The problem with the document you're reading. Yeah, I get that. The problem, because you see, if you say games, right?
It says sports and it says games.
It says games. So
game shows.
They're talking about game shows.
I can create games today.
Game shows.
I can create game shows today. That would go against the spirit of this document. Once you say games.
Yeah, but maybe they are also aware that there are other organizations that will regulate game shows.
Yes.
Maybe they are aware and they know that that's where they should probably end.
Okay, Lexis, let me take you to where my issue is, right? And then I'll take you back to the original construct of the discussion, which says that not for public exhibition. So I'm taking you to not for public exhibition.
Where is that? What are you reading?
Is it the same document?
Right?
Yeah. Okay. The same public announcement.
Yes. So it says that a film shall be disapproved for public viewing. Note.
A film.
Yes, disapproved.
Which is defined.
For public viewing in the judgment of the board.
Right.
And there are pointers below. So I read the first one, which is just the first one. When the average person applying contemporary community standard and values would find that the dominant theme of the content, taken as a whole, appeals solely to a lustful interest and satisfies only the cravings for sex and or violence. It seems simple, but how many global movies, international movies, have been shown in Ghana through DSTV, through Netflix, which may break perceptually this particular rule? You've seen...
But the DSTV and Netflix...
No, yes.
They are pay TVs.
Yes, I get that. But I'm just saying that, you see, the essence of this is, you see, Uncle Ken, go back to the reason this exists, is to shape our supposed moral fiber.
Yeah.
So it's not about DSTV per se. It's about the fact that if we are consuming the content here, are we affecting our supposed moral fiber?
And are you including DSTV and Netflix?
I am, because Netflix... No, see, I'm not talking about your law. I'm talking about society now. Don't forget, the conversation didn't start from Gibber. It started from two boys living in some community called Kaswa, who may have been influenced by content online. So the latter of this act or law is to shape our social behavior.
So you want them to delve into the Netflix?
Yes, you're communicating. Yeah. Oh, okay,
Uncle Ken, let's Jesse finish because Kwame also wants to come in.
We need to fix problems holistically.
So Uncle Ken, if you can hold on for a little bit.
If we fix the problems bit by bit, 10 years from now, we'll come back to this studio to talk about Netflix. Let's be clear. Okay, Adikam. Now, the question is this. You've seen 365 DNI. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a very sexually explicit movie.
Yeah. But where is it shown?
Oh, Netflix.
Yes.
Beyond Netflix, it's also trending a lot. Now, let's
Trending where?
Oh, relax. Netflix. Charlie, okay.
It's trending on the VHS.
Okay.
On the VHS.
I allow you, make you fire. Yeah, so you relax. So, Lexis, my point is this, that if statements within the act or the bill are overly ambiguous, and they are left to the interpretation of the committee members.
Thank you.
Gibber should, and I will start with Gibber, to fight this every day. To the extent that the ambiguity exists, we need to fight this every day. Now, let me take you back a little bit. Part of the reasons why I honestly feel that the execution of this law might be a problem is this. Last 2 weeks, we came to this studio. We're speaking about Achimota School and religion, if you remember. And we said that Achimota School's rejection of some students might be grounded on religious grounds. That's content from a religious perspective. Now, guess what? There's a religion that says that be good. If you're good and you die, you might walk on the streets of gold and you go to heaven. That has been accepted. Clear. Number 2, there's another religion that says that, Lexis, it says that pay me 100 Ghana cedis today. Sow a seed of 100 Ghana cedis. When you sow the seed of 100 Ghana cedis, that 20 million cedi contract you're looking for, you might get. That's faith. Then there's another TV channel that says to you that if you want to give birth, bring me 2 pieces of egg or bring me 2 eggs. And you might give birth subsequently. Now, because that is being presented from a Malam's perspective, you say we need to take that program off TV. Why is that? And why should the faith of somebody which is tied in a Malam on TV be yanked because it doesn't appeal to your conscience? Number 3, I don't think the Malams on TV, and again, I'm not condoning the activity. Okay, honestly. You see, if you don't let me land on this point, people might misunderstand me. Let's be very, very fair. I'm not thinking that the people on TV may have told the people on TV that bring somebody's blood per se. Let's be very clear. On TV, they don't say that. And they are smart. On TV, they would say, they leave
it open. So you call this.
They leave it open.
Yeah.
And then when you go and see them in their back end,
that's when they direct you.
Then they will give you the weird things. So the question is this. If you go to Joy FM, and Joy FM has a malam that says, if you bring me 2 shells and 2 chickens, I will get you a job next week. Or God would make a way for you. On which basis will you yank that? What's your basis? The Christian said the same thing. He said, touch the TV and have faith. I prayed for you. And you get a job next week. And send me 1,000 Ghana cedis as a seed of faith. You did it. So on which basis would you say that the Kari's person is wrong? So I'm saying that we need to walk a very fine line. To the extent that there's an illegality that pushes towards somebody saying bring blood or kill somebody, by all means, prosecute them. But I can tell you that if you watch all those channels, you won't see that. So on which basis are you asking the man to shut up? Answer me that now.
Okay, Kwame.
And then before anybody goes on.
Why not? You keep quiet.
No, but before anything goes on.
Sadiq.
No, before anybody, I just want to clarify something. Somebody sent me a message. I mean, a brother that says, but you are sitting here, you need to correct everybody on the use of the malam.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. Yes, I don't know how. I don't know how the whole naming or titling became very rife. But for a lot of us that are Muslims and grew up from Zongo as well, it's a major concern because it's been corrupted. Malam comes from the word mualim, or a teacher, or somebody that's a guide in Islamic religion.
What would you call the
so they do what they call boka. Boka is an outside word that I mean they do like magic, exorcism. They use
So we can call them ritualists, eh?
Ritualists, yeah, ritualists.
Yeah. They're ritualists.
So they are not malams.
I'm happy that Uncle Ken is
They are not malams. Yes.
So to censor the content, I don't have a problem with you censoring the content. But your basis for censoring somebody's content must be clear. Because if I'm a malam and I'm encouraging my people
If you're a ritualist, you mean?
Sorry, if I'm a ritualist, right?
Yeah.
And I'm encouraging my people to say, bring a cowrie. When you bring the cowrie, you will get a job next week. And the Christian says that sow a seed of 2,000 Ghana cedis and your contract, you would get it. You ban me from TV and you allow the Christian.
No.
Or you censored my content on TV.
Nobody.
Oh, Uncle Ken, but the conversation we are having now is about what?
Well, it's about records of such content program.
Jesse,
But
Jesse, just before Kwame comes in.
Uncle Ken, please,
Let me
hold
just
on.
read this
Oh.
before Kwame comes in.
Okay, Uncle Ken, go ahead.
Jesse, you posed a question as to how someone can determine what a spiritualist
A ritualist.
or a ritualist is saying affects the other.
Yes.
Isn't that your point?
Yes.
That how do you determine whether what that person is saying affects somebody else?
No, I didn't put it like that.
No, yeah, but what
I
did
get
you
what you're
mean?
saying.
Yes, you get what I'm saying. Okay. Now, I've sat down this week. I've listened to arguments left, right, and center, and I realized that we are in a dilemma.
Yes.
As a nation.
Catch-22.
Catch-22 situation. There's no two ways about it. Good. That is why I said to Kwame a few minutes ago that, yeah, he has the right to defend his members in any aspect of what their line of duty is. But when you look at the Criminal Offences Code, 1960.
I love it. Let's go.
Act 29.
Yes, I love it. Let's go.
Now that Criminal Offences Code tried to do something about what is happening now. But you know what the problem was? At the time, there was no television. Just like what the classification board had, the problem they had with their 1960 Act, which we were working with. Because there was no television, we didn't have the right to classify anything on TV until the Act was changed to 935. Sadiq, do you follow my argument? Until it was changed to 935. Now, this Criminal Offences Code, I don't know if there has been any amendment to it. But in the past, it said the publication, now note carefully the wording. It said the publication in any journal or newspaper or of any advertisement or notice relating to fortune telling, palmistry, astrology, or the use of any subtle craft, means, or device, whereby it is sought to deceive or impose on any member of the public, or which is calculated or likely to deceive or impose on any member of the public, is illegal.
Okay.
And the editors, publishers, proprietors, and printers of any journal or newspaper in which any such advertisement or notice as aforesaid is published shall each severally be liable to a fine not exceeding 500,000 cedis.
Land is
In
on
the
the point
past.
I made. No, land is on the point I made.
50,000 cedis.
In the past.
No, I
no.
I agree.
I'm making my own point.
No, I can
Listen,
you made the point. No,
let
see,
me land.
because I want you to come
No,
home.
let me land.
Yes, come home.
The point I want to make, with what I have just read,
there's a law that outlaws some of these things.
can just sit and say that this law, Criminal Offences Act thing that you have just read, does not apply to television.
No, it's not.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
The general
Yes,
public
it's about
conduct.
Yes.
General public conduct.
So bring it home. It's a beautiful English.
I am trying to tell you that this was the problem we had with the classification. When Ghana Films, GBC, stopped us from coming to classify movies that were going to be shown on television, because the act we were working with did not include us doing classification for television. And I'm just trying to say that this thing that I've heard people quote during the week only refers to newspaper journals and publications, and does not specify.
Uncle Ken, no, Jesse, hold on. Let Kwame come in. Sadiq, let's be fair to Kwame. I've muted your microphones because you guys have had the stage for a little too much. So Kwame, come in.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Baba. You see, and I would want to start on that bit, fetish breast. I've been listening to you guys perform, and I was just telling Philip that I was wishing, or I hope that you guys would spend all the time, and then it will be 6 o'clock, so we'll go home. Because so far, I was listening in and having spent some precious time here. I'll send you my picture. You want to look at it? Okay. So, I do not see any headway. And I do not blame you. You are reading from you are taking extracts from serious documents. And then, by orientation, you are also wired in different ways, representing different interests on a subject matter that is largely themed on Ishmael's demise. Even the little issue of even the little issue of describing one of the main perpetrators or alleged perpetrators, I mean, in this case, the priest. We are here and we don't know whether it's a malam, it's a sorcerer. You see, Uncle Ken, you see that act of using wine and flour, dried flour, to represent the blood of Christ and, that whole bit of communion. That's a ritual right there. Anybody who performs that, in fact, dipping a human being in a river, a stream, baptizing them, that whole baptism bit is a ritual in the proper sense of its definition.
Does it happen currently?
I don't know. It's been a while since I went to those places. But I'm saying that anybody who performs these acts could be considered a ritualist. So if we are replacing Malam, and rightly so, Malam is not a true definition of the...
I think I did.
You understand? And you can't fault Jesse or anybody who does that. We loosely use these adjectives. But the point is, if somebody, you tag somebody or in a police report, you haul somebody to court for a certain crime, and you go and call the person a malam or a ritualist, on that bit alone, they could be walking away. Because that's not who they are. For me, and in my estimation, these are just criminals. And the larger conversation and listening to you guys without making any headway, I'm like, why not another lost one? So I am saying that this is a criminal act, plain and simple, done by a criminal. If we would want to look at it as listen, you are an enabler in a very heinous crime because of your words, because of your posture. And just it is also true that they won't tell you that to bring a cow or a fowl. I mean, those safe ones could be mentioned, but Nyankuma, and then when you go back door, they give you the details or the prospectus, so you provide the items. Now, Mr. Ahinkra, is there any parallel body like Giba, or any association that does the same or supposed to serve the same role as Giba does?
For independent broadcasters, we have another group for the NGOs, the community radios.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, since the last time you checked, persons who host this type of content that has been established or has been cited as having informed the boys' heinous crime, since you have said that the last time you checked, they are not part of Giba, can we assume that these persons are, or these stations belong to the other group? or
No.
association?
No,
They don't belong here.
because the other association is just for radio.
Thank you. So it means that joining Geba is not like a sine qua non in
It's not-
There's a freedom.
It's a freedom.
There's a freedom of
Oh.
association.
Then-
There's
There's a
freedom of
freedom of
association.
so you're
It's not even a requirement.
It's
to-
not a requirement.
it's not a
Thank
requirement.
you.
By law.
By law.
So you see, in as much as Giba is alone is sitting here strictly on the strength of his membership and whatever, sitting at the board meetings, informing laws and statutes, the country as a whole is open for all manner of things
Yes.
to be hosted up there, influencing society, the
Yes.
larger society.
Yes.
And so I would say
Without
that
any control.
without no control.
Thank you.
But isn't that what the film
No,
classification?
we'll get to it.
No.
We'll get to it. The film and whatever thing you're citing, it's not like it was invented yesterday. The ills that TV has brought to bear on what Jesse will call moral fiber did not start yesterday.
No.
We have had situations where, listen, we are even, Ishmael is lucky now, he's a superstar. Those who went missing and didn't make the limelight, I'm not even talking about children alone. Women, we've had stories. I was listening to you guys trying to understand, Uncle Ken, when you started, like, whether it is true that the Sakawad thing exists and da. We've also heard stories of how they are supposed to bring some or make certain sacrifices.
Yes.
And we have heard stories. I saw one of my Facebook friends recount a story of how one person is dead. Listen, the truth is we've had stories.
It's rife. And some of the stories
Yes.
come from these people.
And we've recorded cases alleged to be spiritually informed death cases. And we've seen our young brothers and sisters make wealth or drive around as if they are wealthy or rich people. The point I'm making is, if we are saying that TV is an enabling tool which has which informed this situation, and so we are trying to arrest it by bringing Giba to come and answer charges on or whatever it is to the table. Yeah.
Well, just for the record, we were supposed to have Secret Safo, who's the chairman of the
Does
film.
it look like he will come here?
Well, he agreed to join us
Maybe
today.
he forgot. My own uncle. I mean,
No,
listen,
we've been trying to call him to
Please
remind him that he
stop.
agreed to be here,
No,
but he
he's
has
a very
not joined
serious
in.
man. You think that he has forgotten. So the point I'm making is, listen, we as a whole, we
Lexis,
have,
the look on your face.
we have,
Leave Kwame Rasta alone. though.
listen,
Kwame, change.
Meba,
None
this country, this country leadership from time immemorial, because even has been of great disservice to where we find ourselves now, or it's the sole institution you could cite for the lapses. Because if Uncle Ken, he just finished serving on the board now
Yes.
committee,
Yeah.
and for how long were they using a 1960 law?
So many years.
And for how long have we had parliaments or persons in position of leadership who were responsible for fixing that anomaly,
Thank you.
to arrest that gaping hole? So if we are sitting here and we are having this conversation and listening to you guys, I'm like, you know what? I would want to spend the remainder of my life on
At a
something else. Because everybody is talking sense, everybody is talking nonsense. What is the end game? Ishmael is dead.
Yeah.
How many more Ishmaels? We've seen our, again, brothers and sisters walk around. There are award-winning songs in this town that praises this act. In this town,
Social fiber.
we have endorsed,
Validation.
we have validated, we have sat
Award-winning songs.
There are songs in this town. And Jesse, the bit about, I mean, your last point that you made, whether the religious grounds. bit.
Yes.
You see, if I am saying that there are songs that says that ghetto you to go and do whatever you go do and da. Somebody could even cite a hymnal that urges you on based on faith to give your money or to go and do certain.
True.
So you see, this
It'd be
whole
tricky,
thing,
honestly.
if we go into the religious bit,
that's what I'm saying.
There's a gaping where there are loopholes.
Kwame, I beg you,
Yes,
I beg you.
There's a Presbyterian hymn that says, "Menya kapreyi medema base, wonfan koma mufra wo chiri kapreyi benantil da. Are you saying that hymn is promoting an illegality?
Okay, Uncle K, for the records, I didn't compose any hymn. But you see,
you said there are
yes,
hymns.
I am saying that if you want to have that larger conversation based on religion, faith.
That's religion.
Yes, and I didn't institute any religion. I'm only looking at it, appreciating it from that critical point. That me too, I'm doing him so. Me too.
But Kwame, on your point, right? I have a problem with institutions that have a specific problem at hand, right? And they try to hide under the general framework of the law to intimidate everybody when the problem is sitting right in their face.
Would that be referring to Giba?
No, I'm not. And I'm speaking straight to say Mr. Socrates Sappho and his committee people. You see, you've had this law statute or rules in your pocket for a long time.
4 years.
It's been there.
4 years, yes.
4 years.
You've watched the problem fester. Then suddenly, a boy dies. Then in the wake of the boy's death, those who perpetrated it came back and said, we saw it in A, B, C, D. Then you woke up and remember that, I have a law in my pocket.
No.
To be fair to Socrates,
To be fair to them,
the circular was all before.
I don't care about it. Listen, guys.
And they had discussions with Giba.
So let's be fair.
Hold on.
Let's be fair.
What is okay? Honestly, you
The
guys.
discussion had been going on since last year.
May I speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
Continue.
You can speak as much as you want to speak. If you have the power of the state behind you, and you choose to be a PR person, instead of carrying the PR and the whip, then you are incompetent. I'm sorry. No, hold on. And I'm not speaking about him. Okay, I'm not talking about Socrates. I'm saying that if you have the law on your side to act, and the law gives you the power to educate, and the law has given you institutions of state to help you to compel compliance, and you've chosen to be talking throughout, then there's a problem. And all I'm saying is this: that one, if the law is on your side, start acting. And if you've seen a problem with a particular sect, try to engage and deal with it.
That's what they're doing with Giba.
But don't hide under the umbrella and bring everything to a halt.
That's what they're doing.
And refresh the conversation. I don't think it's right.
That's what they're doing.
Finally, and then maybe I'll be done on this issue because I'm tired of this issue. Bro, I beg you.
You can't be tired.
You see, there was a time where maybe you might say traditional media was leading the conversation very full swing. And we started with that, the role of the media. Today, whether you like it or not, and Sadiq, you are probably an expert in the digital space, social media trends are beginning to pull mainstream media along.
Yeah.
So today somebody goes online.
Setting the agenda.
Yes, they're setting the agenda.
Yeah.
Today somebody goes online and sees somebody who might be mentally challenged, right? And the person says something really funny. And the person now becomes a celebrity. It goes viral. And suddenly the person is on maybe FM station here and there. Suddenly the person is blown out completely. We see a slave queen who goes to say, I used my X to get X. And I made the money. And suddenly the person is sitting on an entertainment show at Joy FM here to share her experience and her life as to how she did the bottles. It became big and she made money. Then you've later come to invite us to come and sit here and come and talk about the social fiber. You're also part of the problem. And the fact that we can't see what social media might be doing, it's what's leading the agenda now. Honestly. So whether you chase Giba to ban Giba or to cane Giba or do whatever be the case, Giba does not even have the same eyeballs that social media even has.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
To expand the conversation, and we need to look at it holistically.
Again, I wasn't talking
a lot of
about
people have talked about
incompetence.
Celebrity and public figures, and the showing of wealth on social media and how it's affected, all these moral issues, all these behaviors in our children. What is that true? Is that legit? Is there something we can do about it?
Can I wrap up my my comments earlier on? Now, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
I'll seize the opportunity to, Uncle Ken.
Yes.
At a point during your tenure at the classification board, is it true that you used to carry your own video deck to go and help in the?
Yes.
Did the president of the state at that time ask you or give you lorry fare to do that work?
Very true.
Uncle Ken, can you answer this question?
What was your question?
Did the president or anybody ask you to do that?
No.
Okay. So and you it's not like you are related to Kwame Nkrumah, right?
No.
Good.
I'm not.
You see, Jesse.
From a Kropong, he's from.
Okay.
He's from a
Jesse.
village, yes.
You see the bit about incompetence. Yes.
Not in relation to Socrates.
No. Let's use Socrates. Why not?
Oh no, it's not Socrates.
Okay, me, I'm using Socrates.
Okay, fine, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm saying that sometimes, and that's the reason I cited Uncle Ken's debacle. Today it's been a word here.
No, I don't even want to be in the park.
You see, well on.
Go ahead, yeah.
Listen, me, the buck stops at the top because even instituting these institutions or committees and whatnot to enable them to work.
It's a problem.
If you read budget statements in this town,
And they are not even.
and the government will talk say that they allocate kobo to creative sector, and by extension all the agencies under it. A whole 4-year term go pass away, one city, or they are old. Which lorry fare they go take go? So you see, if you don't take care of your ward at home, it will be another Ishmael and somebody else.
True.
Because from the top priority, we are not being prioritized, and we are taking it for granted that God will do it. Whilst there's a wisdom behind setting up the laws which should guide these offices to run so that larger society will not have this conversation.
I like the point you're making, because I actually wish that you would reach Socrates, right? And ask him one question.
Which is?
2 questions. How ready are you for 1st of May? 2, what is your team size in the supposed validation or classification? Number 3, let me expand it. Number 3, what technical equipments do you have available today? And finally,
That one,
how many man hours is your committee committing to this job every day? Because multimedia alone could bring you 150 videos to peruse. 21 days, 21 days. So how ready are you?
See, all the questions you ask, all the questions you ask, you go bring matter. You go bring matter since somebody could be transferred, somebody could be considered an enemy of the government.
But the point is that
even
within the technology, you would always find these days there are a lot of
Baba,
monitoring tools.
you know something? Make Jesse, finally, please.
Okay, Kwame, wrap up. Yeah.
Yes. Make I tell you something, and this is like a reoccurring theme. In this town, government thought it wise to import 15 zebras, okay, to aid
the animals.
Yes, to aid tourism and all the good reasons.
Yeah.
Nice.
When the wisdom came and they paid for it and brought the animals here, as we speak, only 7 are surviving.
Oh.
The rest are dead.
The rest died because the wise people who brought them from South Africa forgot to
Bring the food.
hire the personnel or the expertise required to let them like
the
assimilate
caretaking.
into. So it is left with 7. Now, a private person, Safari Valley, brings in animals. And just this morning, though he's my neighbor, I haven't seen the animals, but watching the footage, I see that there are some Oyibo people who accompany the animals from the same South Africa to his yard. So you see the difference. When it comes to the state paying attention and getting it right, how beautiful, how well, Ghana could be sighting zebras in our parks. They are supposed to be breeding, procreating. We'll have a whole, now, Aka 7. But when it comes to the private person, because it is him and getting directly, like, the losses, everything will be on him.
Okay.
He brings expertise to man it. So that is a similar situation where we find ourselves where the state will take things for granted at the top.
Okay. Sadiq, I'll let you come in now. Let me read a few of the messages coming in. You can send yours on 055-111-1997. Ransford in Adabraka says, Lexis, I saw this coming. See, I always send messages to your platform about how we glorify fraudsters while valedictorians are not given the same treatment. Could you, even in churches, they don't even question wealth. We rather give them the front pew and prophesy into their lives. Didn't we know the lesser generation was watching and learning? Why act surprised now? Do our leaders, pastors, professors, politicians even care about children begging on the street? Well, they care less. It's make money or you don't gain respect, irrespective of your values and your morals. Okay. Anita Usu says, this country, our lazy approach to issues is our bane. What is so hard about what publishing regulations for all to see and abide? Why must a select group of people be given such power when we have seen how we abuse so much power in these parts of the world? And Isaac Nikwe says Ghana and lazy approaches to solutions. So after this censorship, the country's youth will stop lasting after on-end liquor. Khadija says, this does look suspect and raises so many questions on how they decide what's appropriate and how does this impact the creative industry. Okay, Sadiq, you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, so for me, I'm saying that the conversation needs to be well directed. I mean, we started this very well, trying to analyze it, examine it, and then see if we can provide a certain level of solutions to decision makers. Of course, I mean, some of the things like Jesse is saying, some of the things that's been happening on some of these satellite platforms, if you want to find the criminality or otherwise of it, some of it is on the basis of some laws that exist already. You've gone into the Criminal Offences Act. I don't know, but I'm very certain that money doubling in itself will be something that will be illegal to do. So a number of these things are happening. Beyond that as well, we are aware, I don't know if Nancy Nukran, if it's been taken out, isn't there a regulation behind religious ownership of media platforms?
I thought there was.
There is.
Yes, there is. There is.
But
So,
surprisingly.
exactly. Everybody has gone lax on it.
Yes.
So these things, there are provisions, there are laws, there are regulations, there are things that you can use to regulate these things. Of course, the NCA are not the ones that give the direct licenses to these satellite platforms that are on the satellite platforms who have what they call the bouquet licenses, for instance. But they still can regulate those they give the bouquet licenses to.
Yes.
No, apart from
Like
that,
KNET.
Yes, like
yes,
KNET,
good.
like
Like
Media
KNET.
7 and co.
Okay.
So apart from that, even
Yeah.
everybody on KNET, the NCA is supposed to keep a file.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And they see,
Yes.
for instance, I know a couple of
Yeah.
radio TV stations on the KNET platform
Right.
who pay regulatory fee to the NCA.
Yes.
To NCA.
So we are asking, why is it that on the other platforms you don't seem to have any
And then
idea
there's
what
something
is
that we are
going
now
on?
even finding out. You know how, of course, there's a T1 and T2.
Exactly.
And then the number of planners that are on it. How are these platforms that are supposed to be satellites transmitted appearing on the same band as the digital free-to-air platforms when they don't actually have the digital free-to-air licenses?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How
So
are
a
the
number of
signals
questions.
being
How
sent
are the
to that
signals
end?
being sent? So the point I'm saying is that a number of questions that if we want to direct these conversations very well and get to that point where we say, okay, let's move and act in this particular way.
Yeah.
It will not be conversation that will pass the NCA, for instance. It will not be conversation. I've seen people throwing a lot of things on the NMC, even though we all know the limitations and the extent to which the
Exactly,
NMC
that
can
they
act.
have.
So I
Okay.
don't know why we're worrying ourselves about that. But
All right,
beyond that,
Sadiq.
it comes back to
The
what
NCA.
somebody's talk about, where there's a certain form of lack of seriousness approach to
How we-
enabling
yeah.
and managing the creative industries at the heart of it.
Okay.
Because if you want to take it serious, for instance, a number of these laws that's creating problems for GABA,
Everybody.
classification board, and
Yeah.
everything. Some of it, if you read the draft on the broadcasting bill, for instance,
Yes.
is in there. It
It's
could
in there.
help you to
Yeah.
really set everything right. But approach to it.
It's
In,
like
in,
Jessica.
in 1 minute,
Like
let's
this-
wrap up on
Oh,
this.
yeah,
What is the
okay.
way forward?
The way
We've
forward.
we've looked at the issue holistically, looked at it from
We've had
different
all the
angles.
conversations.
What is the
We'll
way
go back
forward,
on the
Sadiq?
legalities.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we need to be able to have well-directed conversations. We've gone run around. We'll talk about the legalities and everything, but we know what the law says, what the regulation says, who is supposed to regulate what at what particular point in time. And so once we realize that there's a problem here, we don't need to call it anything else. We need to call them or what do we do? Do we need to send a petition to the Ministry of Communication before she directs the NCA for the NCA to do what's the desired
But
of the
Sadiq, on the substantive issue, the National Film Authority, like you're saying, they found a problem and they have issued something that they think is a solution.
That's actually our saving grace now. In the absence of the broadcasting bill,
yes,
the classification
is
our
the only
grace
saving
now.
grace.
That's about the only way we can begin to sanitize the system, even in its wrong.
So
place.
do you agree?
I'd rather give back,
agree?
for instance. Give back, for instance. He said that they are doing a certain they have a certain self-regulatory system going on with them,
and
so they can
vouch for
stand by their members
Yeah.
on some of these things, for instance.
That's good to hear.
So why now, instead of fighting each other on this, you know that your members can be aligned. There are a number of other people who are not your members, but who are still transmitting and
So
doing
you
the
should
things
be
that your
talking
members are
against
doing.
them.
Why don't you now come together, because this is our only saving grace at this point. So you and the classification committee to ensure that all these others that are not your members and are also crossing the line can be reined in.
Yes, just like Kenneth are doing.
So then do you agree? My question is, do you agree with this directive that's supposed to take effect from 1st of May?
Yes, I don't know. You see,
Well, I mean, the point is, no.
Let me answer.
Let me start with Sadiq. Sadiq agrees.
In principle, the idea behind classification is good intention.
Yes.
They are good intention. Obviously, we would have problems with execution.
Yes.
But for me, and in agreeing that, in the absence of the broadcasting bill, since this is our saving grace, I would agree and stand by it, even if I disagree with some instances of the execution.
Thank you.
Of just that, we just need to clarify and then align and then ensure that this one, because it's long overdue, it must be done.
Okay, Uncle Ken.
Yes.
1 minute, Uncle Ken.
I want to say, you are looking for solutions. I want to say we are not the first country to have this problem. This problem existed in the UK some time ago, with so many institutions doing different things, And so what did they do? They crashed all the institutions and came up with two. Ofcom. Yeah, and the IPSO.
Yes.
And so these are the two institutions who monitor what goes on in the media, who license the media, and who, most importantly, can prosecute members who go against the law. That is what we need to sanitize the system.
And we have a good time now because the broadcasting bill has not been passed.
Yes,
so this is the time to ensure that it
all
becomes all of that.
If all these institutions, NCA, National Media Commission, and what have you, are all doing different things, let's crush them and get an institution or two who can do everything that we need, as well as rein their members in. Because the point is, if the National Media Commission, for instance, is supposed to be an institution that oversees media affairs, and they do not have teeth to bite, then what are they doing?
Jesse.
1, is the law good? The answer is yes. 2, is the intent behind the law a good one? The answer is yes. 3, are we able to operationalize our intention from 1st of May? The answer is no.
No.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Again, it requires a whole lot.
This is a closing statement in court.
Guys,
You can't object. Next week I go do some. So number 1, is the law good? Yes. Is the intent of the law good? 2. Are we able to operationalize what we are asking for from 1st of May? The answer is no.
Why?
Number 4 is this, that the media channels themselves are not bad.
Some of them.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as a collective, generally, we have a problem with part of the content that's going out there. If I pick multimedia today, it will not be more than 0.5% of the content that might be bad. Or even the stations themselves that are churning out these supposed ritualist things, they have other good contents running.
No, they don't.
Generally speaking. So my belief is this, that operationalizing this in view of seeing problems will be difficult. Lexis, number 5 for me is the advertising component of this entire conversation. And I have to speak to that before Uncle Ken will kill me later. I'm the marketing director for multimedia. My sales has dropped in March. I need to run an ad to keep me going. I build a business case. I submit it. And when I finish shooting the concept and it's ready canned, and I've spent 100,000 cedis to shoot the advert, I now need to send the advert to the committee.
Yes.
And sit with my sales team for 21 days.
And
No. Advertising is not part of it.
bro, guys.
No,
guys,
it is.
Guys.
Advertisements.
Oh, bro.
Go ahead.
There are people
Jesse,
listening
go
to
ahead.
us. The conversation that the letter generated includes advertising.
Yes.
It's not for nothing that Ramesh Jai spoke to it about on this.
And
It includes
Yes,
music videos
it
as well.
does. So let's get it clear. The
But
fact
the
that
21 days.
no,
it's
Uncle Ken,
just-
no,
It's just
Uncle
a
Ken.
time limit.
It's up to
Uncle
Uncle
Ken,
Ken, what does that
could have
mean?
you could have your content previewed and classified in a day.
No.
He cannot
21
do
days,
that.
21 days before.
No.
And then they have a
Say at
certain
least,
no,
at least
days.
21 days.
Okay.
I'll
At
send it
least.
to them. And then
Okay.
they
No.
have a number
Really?
of days.
What they are
No.
saying is
Really?
that what they are saying
Really?
from their-
Read it.
Really?
Okay, what they are saying is that
Really?
No.
You
at
can't
least
see-
if it's been long at their end,
Yes.
at least
At-
it shouldn't
yes.
go to over
21
120.
days.
But
That's
it
what
can be
they're
done
saying.
even in a day.
You know,
That's why I love you,
I'm
Sadi.
absolutely disappointed.
No,
You are
okay, no,
disappointed
sorry.
with
The reason I'm disappointed is this. Coca-Cola is shooting adverts. MTN has an ad. Over 1,000 companies are shooting ads periodically. I should pack all these advertising and go and give it to Socrates and a team. Hold on. That's a fact. Uncle Ken, if you don't deal with problems at the root, you and I will come back here every Saturday. We will do this program.
Yes, man.
Why? And I'm saying that, listen, it does not make sense to me. Again, next is this that Lexis, and again, I'm ignoring my brother Sadiq and Uncle Ken. The hecklers of the day. Next week I'll do them some.
But just
I
you,
think
you,
that-
have, you have 10 seconds more, so please.
Yes, sorry.
You launching your book?
Because I write a lot.
No, but we have like 1 minute and you've.
No, it's four books actually. So, boss, my thing is that I think that the media houses, the channels themselves, should be able to should regulate their own content, right?
Okay.
What Socrates and the team should do is to set the standards and monitor. Allow Joy FM to put the classifications there based on agreed standards that we actually have. And if a station is in breach, you find a station. So if you ask me, this is how we should start the 1st of May conversation. Let them run and monitor and deal with it. Don't stop the process to collect information before you go. That's my belief.
There's a message
All
from
right,
Obed.
um,
There's a message here. It says, just this week, the Ministry of Communications started asking the public to send in names of the stations in the act of supposed money doubling on these networks. That an agency like the MOC only now asking the public for information on something they are there to know naturally speaks a lot about our seriousness in supporting your third one, that whether we are ready.
Whether we are really ready.
I'll take the final thoughts on this from Mr.
I will revenge on these
Ahinkra.
guys. Let's see.
Well, so
Just in minutes.
is the law good? We'd say the law is problematic. We say we need to work further on the law. What is GIBA doing? GIBA has sent a proposal to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism proposing an amendment. We are hoping that the ministry will be able to forward this to the AG for advice on the points that we have made, because we believe strongly that the Supreme Court has made a ruling on some of these issues, and we will not keep quiet and allow a law which cannot operate to be put out there. We are supposed to be educating our members. Now, if I tell somebody this is the law and the person asks me a question when I'm aware that this law cannot work, it cannot stand the test of time. Anybody at all, any kid can take this law to the Supreme Court and ask for interpretation, and this law will fall flat. You know, so yeah, it will fall flat.
Okay.
There's been a ruling. So
Let's have Kwame share his final thoughts on this as well. Okay. Yeah.
very quickly, what we need to understand, especially with the release, it also includes documentary. What it means that your Thursday programs that you show, you have to shoot them months ahead and send them 21 days before.
When you have finished with it.
And then somebody will have to preview it. If it is an investigation that you have done, somebody will have to preview the investigation and then decide that this documentary you can show it or you cannot show it.
That's the fear.
That's what it says.
It's a legitimate fear, regardless. It's a legitimate fear.
No, Uncle Ken.
Just classify
The NS could be used.
It cannot be used.
Okay, Kwame, you can go. Go ahead.
Charlie.
or of a quasi-judicial tribunal,
correct,
or may pertain to matters which are sub-judicial in nature.
Yeah.
I can read the others for you.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
okay, it's fine. Kwame, you go before you go first.
Put it on your Facebook
Oh,
wall.
Kwame,
We'll check it out. Listen, Lexis.
We need to have a social media extension of the show.
Listen, we have a country to run, okay? If you go to prison for 15 years because you are going to influence my Ohini to be something else, then so be it. If it is because of some multinational blue chip companies and their adverts, they've been selling already anyway. At the height of COVID, everybody made sales. In fact, they made more money. So if because of Socrates, you think that you can't wait 21 days, learn another trade. The law is the law. Once it is in full force and we have issues with it, if we need to host a vigil to protest, we'll do it. But at this stage, when you have a country to run, it has to go on.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Kwame. Now, I would want us to discuss 3 music awards briefly before we wrap up. Because
3 music awards in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to look at it last week. Yes.
Kwame, 3 music awards.
Yeah.
All I want to say
let's get up and up.
Yes. 3 music awards. All I want to say is I laid back that night watching 3 music awards
At home.
And I was so emotional. I was emotional because I looked at the production my boy put and his team put out. And I said to myself, thank God I decided to stick to this program because of this gentleman, Baba Sadiq Abu. And the late Nana Texan and Kwame Ajimambekun, these 3 gentlemen are the reason why I kept coming on this program.
I didn't hear my name.
No, because you are just
kidding.
latter day saints.
Latter-day Saints.
Yes. These 3 gentlemen are the reason I stayed on this show. And I knew that if Nana Texan was alive, he would have been part and parcel of the 3 music awards.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I felt so emotional and so happy. And the clapping that we gave to Sadiq has to be repeated.
Awesome. Jesse.
Oh, nothing to be said again. I think he did a fantastic job.
Yes.
And he set a standard that might be difficult for anybody to emulate in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
3 months. 3 years.
No, I'm dealing with the next 3 months now. We'll deal with the rest later. But,
Hey, Charlie.
Shots.
Listen, I was there some.
Yes,
You see that?
I saw him.
I was there some. And we can only be grateful for, and even those who presented awards, the diverse nature, it speaks to how far higher up Sadiq has gone. You know, some of us were initially like, Charlie, this politics thing they go for, especially NDC, you go tire. It was trouble. But he lost the election and he pulled this off.
Yes.
In Ghana, in Africa.
Right.
That's
of a lot of people.
you know, and you see, he's broken a certain barrier that goes beyond 3 music awards.
Yeah.
And it also means that in spite of your political affiliation, once you are quality, the sky can only be the beginning of your journey. You know, so Charlie, Baba, I go send you Momo some 2 Ghana, be make it take do some.
next year you go tire. Next year you go tire. Next year do some bring and down some.
Yeah.
Do
Anyway.
2.5 music.
Wonderful. He did a marvelous job.
Yes. Kudos to Sadiq and the team at 3 Music Network. I think we'll wrap it up here now. It's been a great conversation. Sadiq, you want to say something about 3?
You can't say anything, don't mind.
Have you done your post-mortem and all of that? Are you done with the post-mortem?
Yeah, we're still doing it. I think that this will be with our engagement with multimedia.
Okay.
By next week, the reports, the post-event report should be out.
Okay, well, good stuff. Thank you so much. Well, it's been a good Saturday. Thank you so much, Jesse Japon, Brand, branding and marketing consultant and managing partner at Afiba Consulting. Kwame Rasta, my poet and artist manager brother and entrepreneur. Yeah.
And someone seriously against the classification duties.
Uncle Ken Addy is going to be on your radio tomorrow. Uncle Ken, are you on radio tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm on tomorrow night. Jazz on Joy.
Who's against it?
Yeah, you.
Oh, no, that's,
Thank you so much, Mr. Incraswell, the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA. We're supposed to have Sukrit Safo here to speak to the Film Classification Committee's release earlier, but he couldn't show up. So I'm sure probably on another platform we'll get him to speak to these issues. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Lexis Bill. And Showbiz A to Z, proudly brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. And High Five Chico Malls, the new normal. And Showbiz A to Z is as always powered by Joy Entertainment. We're large and in charge. Produced by Philip Nye. Production support from Anita Tay and Selwyn Ofori and DJ Wobete. Flashback is coming up next, so please stay tuned to Joy 99.7 FM. Goodbye.